Bob Reihs. I'm with the City of Oxford Police Department, and I'm assigned SRO for Talawanda High School.
Okay.
We have pretty intensive training when it comes to active shooter awareness and incidents, I guess you'd say. My university conducted some training over the summer that was around several hours. The City of Oxford itself, along with Miami, did another 8-hour training, basically all scenarios, talking about different incidents and tactics. Then combined with Talawanda High School and all the schools in the school district, we did kind of our own little training, which involved some PowerPoint presentation and a simulation of what that actually might occur. So there was an actual hands-on, in-service kind of thing for teachers to kind of go through their plans and work their plans. And said, that old cliche, I guess you'd say, if you see something, say something. That's probably the most important part of this, because when it's actually happening, if it were to actually happen, a lot of that preventative measures just goes out. And so a lot of these incidents, if not all of them, they all have something, a build-up, a lead-up. Someone has heard something, or they know someone who's said something in that effect. And I think that's the most important part, that if you hear something or see something, you say something about it. Whether it's false or not, you have an opportunity to kind of get it before it happens. That's the best thing that you could possibly do. The tiers of security that we have here is that we have locked doors, and if they see doors that are ajar or unlocked or faulty in some ways, to bring it to the attention of the teachers. If they see people outside that don't look like that they're students or faculty for that matter, they should bring it to the attention of any of the staff here. And then also, again, if they're around school and just something seems suspicious to them, it might be likely suspicious to us as well.
Yeah.
And so it's never a bad idea, even if it's ends up being nothing, to let somebody know, just in case, because that's what we're worried about, the just in case. So it's not necessarily in any order, but the highest probability of survivability is running. That's the biggest thing. If there's an active shooter someplace in the school, if you are not on the X, so to speak, the best thing for you to do is to run in any direction outside of the school, get as far away as possible, just leave. You have the highest probability of survivability at that point. Getting away from the school gets you off the X. It keeps things it keeps the attention away from me, so that I have an opportunity to engage a shooter, as well as other police officers who are going to be arriving, because in the event of something like that occurring, there's going to be an overwhelming force of police presence that are going to be around, off-duty officers, you name it. The last school incident that I've actually responded to, there was approximately 70 officers before we started calling people off. So there's going to be an overwhelming response, and that goal, running, getting away, get off the X, is the best thing you can do. The next thing is, if you don't have that opportunity because it's located outside of your door, or if it's down your hallway, and listening to your teachers is probably the best thing for that. If you're not sure what to do, they're going to have kind of an idea, because they've been kind of briefed on this as well. The best thing you can do is hide. And what I mean by hiding is not necessarily just staying inside your room, but it's barricading the door to your room by any means possible, staying out of the threat angles that are coming from the door, and using whatever common sense that you have, either to escape out windows or to stay out of sight, because what we're doing there is we're causing time to elapse, and the more time the shooter takes, the better, or the advantage it gives me and other officers responding here, that we're going to end the situation. So hiding is the next best option in order for survival. And then the last option is, if you're stuck in the middle of it and you're on the X when it occurs, is fighting. And fighting can basically be summed up as not just one person, but an overwhelming force of people to jump on the shooter and try and overwhelm them and take them down by using any means, any force necessary. In those situations, it's not something you want to talk about, but or do you want to practice? But there are no rules in that circumstance because people's lives are at stake, and that's the best option for anyone who's caught in it, I guess you would say, is to fight their way out, take the shooter down if all possible. That also increases time as well. The more time that you create is more opportunity for me to respond there and take care of the situation, as well as other officers arriving on scene to give help and render aid. So in that, not necessarily in that order, but those three things are primarily what we practice now, what the Department of Homeland Security really recommends and we emphasize, and that's what we're teaching and practicing and implementing here in Talawanda High School.